Huh?
What's up, guys? We're here at AMC Town Square with Jason Cinema.
Mr. James Shoe.com,
and we're here for Mark Wahlberg and the beautiful Rose Byrne.
Yeah, and Isabela Moner from the previous Transformers movie. In
the younger girl,
Instant
right?
Family, yes.
Okay.
Yeah. Teenager. Instant Family, which actually opened last week. If you caught my written review, which was early, good on you.
On ChaseCinema.com.
If not, that's why you got to go to ChaseCinema.com because there's always cool stuff going on there. But now it's time to make a video review. So, cool story about this. I did get to interview the director of this movie, Sean Anders.
Well, when you're chasing cinema.
When you're chasing cinema. You know, the press tours don't come through Vegas often, but when they do, I get to offer some cool stuff. So go click that wide eye, that'll be linked up there. But the reason why I'm talking about that is not just to promote it, but because this whole movie is based off of his real life. Not everything, but highly influenced. And if you don't know what Instant Family is about, Instant Family has Pete and Ellie, Rose Byrne and Mark Wahlberg, a couple that is kind of debating if they're ever going to have kids. Kind of come to terms that they are special enough. They are good enough people that would be good enough to adopt children. And this whole movie follows them going through the adoption process. You know, and obviously, like I said, this is based off Sean Anders, who in 2007 adopted 3 children. In this movie, Mark Wahlberg and Rose Byrne adopt a teenager because they feel like teenagers don't get enough credit. They want to go against the odds. They adopt Isabela Moner, and only to find out that she has 2 younger siblings. So like that, they become the parents to 3 children.
And that's how it happened for the director too?
No, not exactly. He adopted all 3. None of them were teenagers. They were 6, 3.5, and I believe 9 months. Read the review for the exact years and ages of the kids. But ideally, it's just kind of the hecticness of the whole process. You know, usually in a movie when we see kids being adopted, they're taken in and we kind of go from there. This movie really kind of goes through all the awkward, weird parts about adoption. Caseworkers, group meetings, what do they call it again? They call them meeting fairs, where adults go to these fairs where kids are just running around and they kind of go and introduce themselves to meet kids and see who they click with. The very weird setup that the whole system kind of has. And I think the movie both praises the system. I mean, this movie is really, really pro-adoption. Like, this movie, I think, even ends with a website to, like, find out more about adopting kids. So, you know, it's like a movie that's really trying to spread a message. And it's a wonderful message. Me, myself, being a child of adoption, luckily I was never in the system. Very fortunate for that. I mean, I was adopted between family. But obviously it's something that, you know, you think you should spread the word on. But this movie does do its best to kind of bring some light to it, you know. Usually adoption, and while there is some really tragedy and some sad stuff in this movie, it takes it with a very kind of light tone. It doesn't want it to be this very intimidating subject of, like, these kids. I mean, in reality, almost, if not every story of adoption comes from some sort of tragedy. It has to start with some sort of tragedy in order for them kids to be in the system in the first place. But this movie kind of does its best to be light and maybe not have people so afraid of it. Problem is, I think, and while he was a very great guy, Sean Anders is the dude that brought us Horrible Bosses 2, Hot Tub Time Machine, Daddy's Home 2. These movies where we are in these kind of, you know, realistic settings, but not. They're very exaggerated. They're very blown up, like Horrible Bosses 2, obviously the plot lines in that. Daddy's Home, where we had these characters that are so different and so obscure and so over the top. I think that his silliness that comes out in his other screwball comedies kind of takes over some really big moments here. And while I think it's fine, and I think it's a movie that you could bring your mom to and your whole family to, and your mom will shed out a few tears, I don't think there's much substance, again, for it to be a movie that will be remembered or go down in the long haul. I think it's meh. I think it's fine. But I think it's a movie that has a huge heart, and I think it deserves credit for that, and really trying to do something in which its adoption is never really handled in its full length, and in its in the idea that it could be somewhat funny too of how this whole situation works. So I give him credit for that, but I just think the execution was meh.
Fair.
Yeah.
I didn't know they did so many movies together, him and Mark Wahlberg.
Yeah.
3 films.
So I mean, Mark likes to pick.
Maybe he got jealous of Peter Berg.
Yeah. He's like, hey man, work with me too. I should have asked him that question. I didn't think about asking him that in our interview. But again, I think if your whole family's looking for a movie to see, I think there is some better options out there, but not the worst pick. You know, if this is on HBO one day and you're just chilling at the house eating a bologna sandwich, you know, this is fine.
Fair enough.
This is fine.
And those other choices that they could watch are what?
Creed 2.
Hey,
And then Ralph Breaks the Internet, the sequel
Hey.
to Wreck-It Ralph. And a bunch of other things, too, now that we are in award season, which means we only have about 5 weeks left of movie watching. Next week, we come back after you enjoy a wonderful and safe Thanksgiving.
Mashed
Stuffing
potatoes and
yourself
gravy.
with turkey, that's hopefully E. coli free.
Pumpkin pie. No lettuce.
Is that your favorite? No lettuce. Is that your favorite? What's your favorite dish on Thanksgiving?
Mashed potatoes and gravy.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh man, I like ham. If ham's there,
I don't like
I like ham
ham.
over turkey. Really?
No.
Oh, okay. But then, yeah, pumpkin pie. That's the highlight.
You gotta eat
yeah,
pumpkin pie.
with like 2 tablespoons of Cool Whip on that.
2?
2. Anyway, next week we're going to be here for the Possession of Hannah Grace. No better way to get into the holiday Christmas spirit than to watch a scary possession movie.
Yeah.
There's some connection there somehow. But we'll be here, and as always, no matter what we're watching, though, it's always a good time here at AMC 10 Square. You could get a premiere here at 10 o'clock. For discounted tickets, if you text this guy at 702.
348-5618.
It's always a blast. We want you to join us to get really in the holiday spirit and enjoy some time with your friends.
Love it all. And ChaseCinema.com until next week is known as
The Film Lovers website.